Good blessed Saturday evening, April the 30th, 2022. It's about 6:51 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter if you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you're the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. Doesn't matter even whether you like me or not. It doesn't even matter whether you give me a thumbs up, thumbs down on anything that I put on social internet. That's your prerogative. You have a right to do that in the United States. Some people don't know it. Some people don't even know I have that right. It's called a First and a 14th Amendment right. But anyway, what I want to talk about today, y'all, is first, can they see this? Let my people go. You see, that's what God sent Moses to tell Pharaoh, to let his people go. You see, Pharaoh thought it was a joke solely because he thought Moses was by himself. But when it was time to go, and Pharaoh and his army was chasing after Moses, and the people that he told him, God told him to set them free, they thought it was a slam dunk. But as Moses and them went through the Red Sea, it split for them. Some people don't see the logic in what's going on. It opened up for them, but then when Pharaoh and them got close, guess what they got? They got drowned in the Red Sea. You see, Goliath, he laughed, and his people, they laughed at David. When Goliath offered David his shield to protect himself from him, from Goliath himself. But you see, David didn't take the shield for a couple of reasons. One of them, the shield, was David is a little bitty person. The shield was tall like Goliath. David couldn't even hold a shield, let alone use it for a defense. But then David knew that God sent him with something that the people would underestimate, but it would take Goliath down, and it did. And let me show you about another thing. Who God sent me here on May the 3rd, next week, May the 3rd, it would be 26 years. Look at the back of this thing. What did that say? That said, Raymond Lewis Ivy, ambassador. Do any of y'all know what an ambassador is? An ambassador is a high-ranking agent. You see, the United States have ambassadors that goes over to China. You see what I'm saying? All over the world, like the young man just said. You see what I'm saying? He go all, you can see he's knowledgeable. He represent us. That's right, he represent us. So if I'm an ambassador fighting against this crime, who am I representing? Tell him again, will you? Hey, Charleston, Missouri. You see the young man just said? And some of y'all might think I had that pre-rehearsed, but he just was coming out of his house. But anyway, what I want to show y'all is, y'all remember on I believe it was March the 12th, 2022, when an officer by the name for the Charleston, Missouri Police Department named Mark Higgins. Again, I always like to reiterate, he's a rejected chief of police from East Prairie, Missouri. He originated here in Charleston. Then he went to East Prairie to run for chief, and the people believed in him, and he won. But then he hired a dispatcher, a female, and they seen what he did through his little first term. They wasn't satisfied with him. And East Prairie is 90% or more white. The white folks got him up out of there and sent him back where he originated from in his original position as an officer. They say he was unfit to be a chief. And he's unfit to be a police because he's following up against an incompetent and unfit chief of police here in Charleston, Missouri, Robert Hearns. Now, he brought this letter over to my house. Do y'all see it? Can you see who the letter is from? It's from Paul Page. It don't say the executive director of the police department. It says the executive director of the Charleston Housing Authority. See, Mark Higgins didn't even know how to be a chief. He don't know how to be a police officer. He listening to an unfit chief, Robert Hearns, and an unfit city attorney, Tabitha. I don't know what her last name is now, but she one of the ones that prosecuted me on an illegal case once before. You see, her and Bobby Hearns said it was okay for him to bring this letter, but the mayor, who was the mayor on April the 12th when I went to the city council meeting here in Charleston, Missouri, and the city manager that's still the city manager, they said he had no authority to do this here. If anybody know, the city manager and the mayor would know. You see what I'm saying? What they need to do is get rid of Bobby Hearns, get rid of that city attorney that they have, Tabitha, send her back to wherever she came from. But you see, Paul Page abused his authority, because on nowhere on here you don't see nothing stamped by no court, no judge, no sheriff, or nothing like that. But he told me when he abandoned me from all the properties of the housing authority, which is one of them that I go to frequently, which is the Civic Center, the C.F. Bowen Civic Center. But he used his authority, abused his authority, and had this unfit police officer to bring me this here. Merely because, let me show y'all why. I don't live in the projects, but I go helping people in the projects. You know, Paul Page and that city attorney and Mark Higgins and some of these other racist people and some of these sellout black, this is what they remind me of right here. You see, this is an anthole. You see, eventually this is what God gonna do to that anthole. He gonna block them in, and I'm gonna show you where the star come from. The star come from the people. Now I want you to take a look at this. This is what I was complaining about. From this house right here, trash since they've been over here since November of last year. Trash all up in here. Y'all seen my YouTube videos continuously, but y'all wondering why it's clean like that now, and I'm gonna show you why. It ain't clean because they want to clean it. I'm going to tell you why. Because Paul Page seen, he didn't know this who he was messing with. The young man next door told y'all what a ambassador is. See, some of y'all don't know what an ambassador is. You know, I'm going to tell you another thing. I give credit and respect and honor to a lot of you brothers that I know that's plugged in under the 6 and 5, because y'all understand what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? But it's some amongst y'all, when y'all hear them talking about me, you better watch out, because they probably working with them people downtown. You see, because I ain't talking about y'all, I'm talking about the ignorant Negroes and the racist whites that come up and down up in here trying to destroy our area, our neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? But let me show you why it's clean over there. Paul Page used a police to do some illegal work. You didn't see nothing stamped on this, but let me show you this here. You see where that come from? That come from the Missouri Commission on Human Rights. From our capital, Jefferson City, Missouri, to me. And I'm gonna show you what it is. It's something gonna show Paul Page you can't do all black folks the way you doing some of them in these projects. And if y'all listening in them projects, all you got to do is stand up. Go to your NAACP leaders. Go to your other individuals that call themselves black leaders and preachers that stand up for justice, and have them to do what I'm doing myself. You see what I'm saying? You see what this says? This is a complaint. You see what that says? Notice that a complaint has been filed. You see, with the thing Paul Page had, You didn't see this, but you see this real good. It say file, April the 9th, 2020. You see what I'm saying? This is just part of the thing. But Paul Page got it now. You know how I know? Because some of the people that he deal with, some of the black folks that he deal with, they let me know he got it. But see, they don't have to let me know he got it. You know why? Because I know he got it, because once I get it, they send it to the people that I'm complaining about. You see, I didn't have to pay to do this here. All I had to do was use what my mama and daddy taught me, what Cabrini Green in Chicago, Illinois taught me, what the people in Charleston, Missouri taught me, and mainly what God taught me, to use my common sense. And then when I can't use the 5 common sense, go to my 6th sense, because he'll help me out. And that's what I did. I filed a complaint against the executive director. Now, I wonder if when he got this here, you see what I'm saying? He gonna have to respond to it. And I know he can't stand it, responding to what he call a Negro. You see what I'm saying? A Negro that ain't scared to stand up against him, any of these judges, any of these prosecuting attorneys, any of the sheriffs, any of the police chief, none of these Negroes down here that they sent to try to attack me. Y'all seen how they came down black and white. White female came on my property, beating on my door like she got authorization to do it. You see what I'm saying? But y'all seen I escorted her fat behind off of my property away, and then you seen her trying to tear my bushes up. Same thing her child was doing. Like mama like daughter. You see what I'm saying? But let me show you this here. Now, Paul Page, now he gonna have to get that attorney, because see, I know Paul Page ain't intelligent enough to respond to what I did, Raymond Ivy did. You see what I'm saying? Now he gonna have to get his lawyers. He gonna have to get some of them lying police on the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. Not all of them now. You got some good ones on there, but the chief ain't now one of them. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if they got any good sheriffs in the sheriff's department here. You see what I'm saying? But I know they got a few people that may be all right in the city hall. But I want to see if Mark Higgins gonna be able to go up against the Human Rights Commission like he brought his fat, uneducated to the law behind on a place where it say no trespass. If I had a dog, I'd have let it go on his fat behind because you trespassing. Eat him up. Eat him up. You see what I'm saying? The same with that fat white female that came on it. Eat her up. And anybody know me, I train dogs real good. But let me say this here. To the chief of police, Robert Hearns. To your city attorney, Tabitha. You the city attorney, you was a prosecuting attorney, you wasn't good at that. Only thing you had was crooked judges, crooked police, crooked sheriff. But let me see you be crooked enough to go up against this. Y'all get together and go up against this here. Y'all explain to them why when I sent my complaint to the HUD in St. Louis on March the 8th for the 3rd time about all that filth out there, that Paul Page hooked this letter up a day after. Y'all see, he ain't man enough. He ain't man enough to bring it to me himself. You see what that say, March the 9th, and I sent one to the Human Rights Commission, not the Human Rights Commission, but HUD on the 8th. That's called retaliation. You see what I'm saying? But see, Paul Page wasn't man enough. His staff was tired of cleaning up behind them white folks because they did the same thing down the street at 719 Vine Street with this same white family. You see what I'm saying? And some of you black folks, y'all need to, I know y'all try to teach your children, but see, some of y'all children's gonna end up in the cemetery. To some of the same black ones that came down here disrespecting me, calling a female that I know, a decent female, to be in the neighborhood trying to help elder people, calling her the B word, calling her a crackhead. You see what I'm saying? But yet, history on them, you will see where they came from. But the one that they calling this is not one. But that go to show you, the white folks that they come down here trying to attack me about, they in y'all track, on y'all track, by y'all parks, and they trucks tearing up our neighborhood. But most of them live over there in the 12 or the 1700 block of Marshall, where it's 90-some% white folk, but they come in the black neighborhood and tear it up. How ignorant could some of you blacks be? Now you leaders, and you preachers, I'm not talking about all of y'all, because some of y'all do something. But why ain't y'all getting no meeting together, gathering up over here across the street like y'all did with two individuals, one in the Fed joint and the other one is on the run because he working with the feds. They let him commit crimes in the black neighborhood. They let him sell drugs. They let him shoot people. They let him harass black people like me and my family. And now they got him in hiding. But you same black leaders that call yourself leaders, NAACP members, if it ain't you, don't let it bother you. Y'all march with these same Negroes up and down here, met up there, Susanna Wesley, Sheriff Department, Police Department. Y'all might delete some of you preachers, especially the preacher from Opportunity and some of his members. You see what I'm saying? Mercy seat. What's the other one? I can't think of his name. I can't think of the name of it. I believe it's Saint. I think it's Saint Matthews. I don't know if it's the one that's up there around Locust. All right, now around Locust and Marshall Street. I ain't talking about the one that's in our area. But y'all know what I'm talking about. I got y'all on camera marching with these individuals. But you didn't come march with me. You see what I'm saying? But I give it to the people on the 600 block of Van and some of the other people in the neighborhoods here in Charleston, Missouri on the west side of town that came and stood with us because they knew we were standing for right. Now all of you individuals that from the law enforcement, let me see y'all go up against the Human Rights Commission. You see, all I do back is just sit back. Win, lose, or draw, you know that Raymond Lewis Ivy is not a Negro that you want to be fooling with. You see, I learned how to put these here down and use this. These here got me in the penitentiary. Now, don't get me wrong. If you ever come on this property, I don't care who you is. If you come on here illegally, you can be a judge. You can be a prosecuting attorney. But if you come on here illegally and threatening me and my two daughters, I'm going to lay you to rest permanently. How you like me now, Paul Page? I know you and all your friends is calling me all type of niggas. But I'm going to tell you one thing. What a nigga is an ignorant individual. That's you. That's all these black folks that's falling behind you. That's your city attorney. That's your chief of police. That's your sheriff. That's some of the people in City Hall, not all of y'all. The only one in that courtroom that I give full credit to is the circuit clerk lady upstairs, Miss Dottie. Ain't never did wrong when y'all were doing me wrong. She always made sure her staff filed my stuff properly. But the police department, with people like Austin Henson, which is one of the ones, if you do the research, May of 2017, he was one of the ones that was in there when that young brother, Tory D. Sanders, was murdered by these white police gang bangers, sheriff and police. Mississippi County Sheriff deputies and Charleston, Missouri police. He was murdered in there, but they didn't charge him with murder. Austin Henson, I got a record of showing. One of my complaints in here at the Human Rights Commission against the Family Dollar, Austin Henson wrote a line report on there, which he didn't even have to write. I didn't even ask him to write a report. He tried to write it to help them people out. But he ain't gonna help them out because God got you, just like y'all killed that black brother up in there. God got something for y'all in y'all family. You see what I'm saying? All you gotta do is look at these crooked prosecuting attorneys. Where some of them at now? In the graveyard. I know y'all don't like that. Fight this here. Peace be still.